regarding passport issuance and renewal. Officials of the Nigerian Immigration Service have lamented that the newly introduced automated passport application process has become an obstacle instead of making passport acquisition process faster in Nigerians. For Nigerians, many applicants are left stranded in passport issuing offices across the country because they cannot meet the newly introduced conditions, which include provision of letter of identification from the local government by applicants who are renewing their passports. Also, the fee for a 5-year passport has been increased by 10,000 naira from 25,000 naira to 35,000 naira. Julie, we saw improvements since this administration, since we had the new minister. We saw big improvements across board. But, you know, the more we solve some problem, the system will also throw up another obstacle. Now, most of this local government, this letter of identification you're talking about, that would now be an avenue to extort Nigerians. So, if I want to get this in, I have to go to Oseahon local government in Ondo State now and be looking for one chairman, and it's an avenue to make things cumbersome.
Through their liaison offices.
If they have one here. If they have one here.
I don't even know why some people have argued that they did that because non-Nigerians.
A lot of non-Nigerians. It's easy to get our passports.
On our passports, whereas they can't get the passport of other countries like that, you know. But we shouldn't.
This will be first timer, or if you want to renew.
Even if you want to renew, that's what I'm surprised about. If you want to renew, there are all kinds of obstacles that should go. You want to renew, they now make it. You now have to come for capturing again.
Meanwhile, there's a database.
You have to come.
It's a biometric process.
It's just, for example, my children now who are going to school outside Lagos. If I'm to renew their passport now, they have to come home.
Have to be present.
And that renewal, and if there are mistakes that you need to correct, like one of my sons,
spelling
mistake, yes, they say you have to go to Abuja. I mean, all these things are not, we are not treating ourselves like civilized people. Honestly. Why should I go all the way to Abuja?
Honestly.
Just to make a correction?
Yeah.
That probably was not even my fault. You tell me that I have to go to Abuja. The minister has been praised for what he has done. But I think the introduction of this local government thing is what is driving people mad, because they didn't expect it. It has come suddenly. They had never had to do that in the past. In the past, when we got our passport, we didn't have to bring a local government this thing, attestation from local government that this is where you are from. You know? Even the schools in those days, if you wanted to enter some of the public schools in your state, they want to be sure that you are an indigenous of the state. So they instituted that we'll know when I want to enter Kwara College of Tech for basic studies in those days. They made us do it. You know, but for international passport, some of the people renewing, they are not even based there. You know, some of them are abroad, they come home, they need you, and you are putting them
to do sharp,
all of that. So the whole idea, what the minister wants to achieve, the speed in issuing of passports that he wanted to achieve, he will not achieve it because this condition that they've come up with will slow down the process. That is the point. Whatever they can do to hasten the process is what will make Nigerians happy. But if you are introducing some elements, some stipulations that Nigerians must meet, and those stipulations are now dragging the hand of the clock back, then you ask yourself, what have you achieved? What have you achieved? You achieved a little and then took several steps backwards. That is, in my honest opinion, That is what we are seeing. They must simplify the process. People should be able to, as you are seated at your desk in your study, in your house, you should be able to process this thing, and then it comes out.
Seamless.
But if you have to then call your... I don't know who advise people in government, honestly, that your local government must get involved. And then this NIN thing, it's like we just wasted our time.
Oh, no.
NIN is there, yet Dogo Gide and other bandits, they will be using phone to negotiate ransom. We can't track their calls, we can't catch them. And we did NIN. So even this one now, with your NIN, it should be easy to do.
Your local government to sit, because we all feel that everything is there.
What is the local government? Have they seen me before? I mean, somebody who has not seen me before attesting that I am this, I am that.
There was a time I wanted to renew my passport, and I was told that my NIN number in my name, I had my middle name, and that middle name wasn't in my international passport. So I had to go back to NIM office to remove my middle name.
Imagine.
Manually. I spent days to remove it. So they had to send it to the Abuja office. They had to rectify it from their central server there. What's a very cumbersome process.
It's part of the things we are saying. When you have any little error with your passport, you need to go to Abuja. Why should somebody in Aba why can't the person go to Enugu? If somebody has problem from Ondo,
or you get married, you are now Mrs. So.
You need
must
to
go to Abuja
to run, these things. The cost of traveling just because we want to go. And they are also asking for introduction for infants. That before you just attach your passport with that of your children, but now they are asking for local government. They are asking for date of birth for people who are born in the 40s and 30s when there were no, they are asking for certificate of birth certificate. When they had none, there were none. So you are being compared to be criminalized because you are going to go out to go and forge that kind of
swear affidavits.
Yeah, and they have also increased the passport from 25,000 to 35,000 for 5 years, and then 10 years now 70,000 plus 2,000 bank charges. And most people are not aware, so they just go there and then to discover that. So I think there is a communication problem, within the ministry itself. And they need to do diligent communication with officials. There are some demands they are making that are not necessary. If you are renewing your passport, you already have your data. Why do I need to provide my birth certificate and other details again?
Just to renew.
I think I will also advise, some people have never been to their local governments. Born in Lagos, is now 35 years old. He can't even spell the local government correctly. Or born in Kano, and it's from Ondo State. He has never been to his local government. He doesn't even know the local government, the chairman of his local government. So how do you want him to now travel from Kaduna or Kano to Ondo State or from Lagos? Some people born in Lagos.
So now be an avenue for those local government officials.
For the local government, should also update from analog to digital. They should have websites so that people can search. The name of the local government chairman, so that people can have information about their local government. So that if you want to get information, at least you can communicate.
The idea is people should be able to do this thing seamlessly.
Without any,
All right.
But I think we commend the reforms that are taking place.
Yeah, again, as much as
changes so that you can
amend. It's easier. The number of people that want to take their passport because of the situation in the country now, I've never seen it in my lifetime.
Yeah, it's huge.
Before, it's not everybody that we have access to passport and they don't want to leave Nigeria. But now, the number of applicants due to this jackpot
travel to Togo, Ivory Coast, Ghana, people want to leave, just to leave the country for economic reasons.
People go to Togo and Ghana to purchase their tickets to travel abroad right now.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
Because of the volatility in terms of our foreign exchange. Banks, the airlines just marked it up for us.
Somebody yesterday,
Ghana here is cheaper.
God is good to Ghana.
We are still passing through a lot of landmines. Since May 29, we are passing through a lot of landmines. And I hope when those landmines are detonated, the government will be able to sit down and, take its altitude.
All right, joining us for more discussion on this issue is an accountability expert and e-government lecturer, Malcolm Oseahon. Thank you for joining us, Malcolm.
Hello. Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here. Amazing platform.
Are you...
Hello?
Hello? You can hear us clearly, right?
Malcolm,
yes,
can you hear
I can
us?
hear you. Thank you for having me. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Let's talk about this.
Hello?
Let's talk about the problems our people are facing now with issuance of passports. The minister was commended for some reforms that he introduced which hastened the process. Now they are saying that new conditions being stipulated are now making passport issuance slower. What have you got to tell us about this?
Okay, so, well, thank you for the opportunity to exchange. From my understanding, the approach of the minister, for me, is laudable at the beginning because, you know, with the success story of clearing over 2,000 backlogs of passports. So that for me, that's laudable and it should be applauded. Now, digitization of processes, e-government, basically, yes, is the key and is the way. But there are approaches to these things. So for example now, the idea of the, like I was listening in on you earlier, the idea of the introduction of the local government, you know, to show that you're from this local government and all of that, the certificate. I don't know why that is being introduced. I believe, to my understanding, the passport is a security document, so they're doing all manners of, you know, validation to make sure that this person is this person. But there are other ways, and that's why you know the introduction of e-government, you know, digitizing the processes. But yes, he has gone ahead to digitize, and he has been successful in that. And then now introducing this, and then now we are having back and forth. Now, in the approach to digitize, it's not always the answer. Why? Because you can go ahead and digitize a problem if you don't take certain steps. And one of the approach will be, you know how the president has a vision and has given us the 8-point agenda, and all of us Nigerians are truly supposed to add value and find a way to get to that 8-point agenda, because he has seen that, okay, this 8-point agenda, if you meet it, Nigeria will be a better place, just like the SDGs with the 17 goals and 147 targets, something like that. What I would have thought the minister would have done, because I've heard him say he tried to see the process flow. Now, in understanding the process flow is very important, but the truth is, when you're understanding the process flow, there are researches that must be done, what we call as-is analysis, you know, as-is analysis. That means the current status of you know, the ICT, the input to the output, all of these things. And I believe he did that in a way. But I don't know to what extent, because, you know, these things will get to you using tools like PESTO, you know, macroeconomic factors to understand what is actually affecting the process. Maybe SWOT analysis, or, for example, gap analysis, benchmarking with a process. So the question is, who is the minister benchmarking? Which country? What process flow is it benchmarking? This will now require you to do what we call BPR, business process re-engineering, so that you understand what you're doing here is to find out where exactly is the bottleneck. Because if you go ahead and just digitize, you will start seeing all these kind of problems. You start needing to require this, to require that. And so that's why sometimes it's not always to be in a hurry to digitize. Take time, explain to people, bring people in. And the only way government can bring people or citizens to be part of the process is e-government. E-government. And, you know, I was also listening to you earlier, and you spoke about, you know, the processes in ministries and all of this, ministries, MDAs and all. It was interesting to hear, you know, from my elders, I would say, because honestly, it was interesting and I learned from it. But you see, the answer is still e-government. So what is e-government? E-government basically is, using ICT as an enabler for government services, anchoring on accountability and transparency of, for effective and efficient service delivery. So in that case, it's not just, it sounds so simple, but there's a process and you have a goal. The goal is I remember someone on, I don't know who, but someone mentioned about having a vision in the ministry and then everybody following suit. Now, let's look at the 8-point agenda and let me explain this e-government. Maybe let me bring clarity to what I'm saying. To Nigerians, because I know a lot of Nigerians are watching TVC, great channel. Let's look at the 8-point agendas. So we have food security, end poverty. Let's pick end poverty, for example. So the president has seen that, poverty is a major issue. And poverty can be, you can tie poverty to every single thing going on. Insecurity, even the fact that people have to go to do, to get the certificate at local government. Some people may complain because of the money, the transport. Some people which I don't know if is a form of IGR for the government. I don't know if they're trying to use internally generated revenue. I don't know why, if that's the case. But imagine ending poverty now. And a ministry like Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. See how particular the president is, that he even changed it to poverty alleviation to show you where his heart is. And why I will speak on this is because of the numbers. Now, they say 133 million people are multidimensionally poor. That means that's 63%. That's crazy. That is a lot of people, So the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs should, for example, bringing e-government, should act as a coordinating body, a supervisory body, a regulating body that looks at the processes of intervention across all the 774 local government, 36 states, and capital. And should not bother about implementation. Implementation of any form of alleviation or intervention should be done at the ministry, at the agencies or programs. For the ministries to stay focused with the renewed hope agenda. Renewed hope. It means giving hope to people again in government. And now, what has happened with all the whole, I don't know, stories, but with all that has happened, it's alarming. You see the president now that has given us a vision to work with. What might be in his heart is trust issues in who to handle things like this. But I tell you, the answer is e-government. So you stay as a regulating body, you stay as a supervisory body, and then you say, okay, I have a vision. As a vision for everyone, it would be as simple as whatever intervention from the government promised to the people must get to the people. You have that vision, that goal, just like it was earlier mentioned. And then from there, you start processes of understanding everything to align with that vision. One of them will be, how they try to get to understand the lives of these people, which of the poor and vulnerable, which, using the community-based targeting system, which is good, but that's when you are trying to capture data. Because, all of this talk at the end is centered on data. But you cannot understand these people if you do not, if government is not in the lives of these people. You cannot actually alleviate them from poverty if government is not in the life of these people. So government has to find a way to be omnipotent in a way, to be in their lives. And what they do is to digitize the process.
What do you suggest?
This is what I would do.
What do you suggest? Should government drop the idea? Should government drop the idea of having people go to their local governments to get this document, this attestation and all that? Should they just drop the idea? If it's slowing down the process, shouldn't they just drop the idea? What's your suggestion?
No, I would not say so. There's a reason, and I feel they should come out to explain, because the passport is actually a security document, but there should be a reason why. And if they should look at the process again. That would be my suggestion. Looking at the process again, the process
I
flow
think
from
the
in
main
out,
reason is
and then
that some foreigners are laying their hands on Nigerian passports.
It's easy
I
to
think
get our
it's
passports.
easy, yes.
Yes.
You know,
But
but
being a Nigerian.
shouldn't
you-
there be something they can do to ease the pains that people are going through just to get a passport?
digitize the process. Let us have some sort of central database. Now you may say NIM, for example, a unique identifier that you know that's interoperable with the NIM or the BVN, for example. So they should digitize the process. Look at what it is that you can use to know to validate this person is real, rather than just going to make people go and get affidavit on this, or to say that I am from here and from that. Digitize the process. E-governance. E-government, from federal down to capital, you don't have to be in the federal, you don't have to come to the federal capital to do anything. Everything should be done. Imagine a system that could actually, you file in a document, maybe for example like your tinted permit, if that was still an issue, and then you have all the required documents, and each of these documents have barcodes to authenticate them, and then you sit in your house and you register, file in all the required documents, scan them, and for it to be processed, and then the back end, the policeman or whoever is in charge there the system authenticates it through the barcode, and then there in your house, in your office, at your convenience, you get a printout of this document or the soft copy. So you see,
right.
or maybe in the ministry, yeah.
So
Hello.
finally,
Okay, or maybe in the
what can we do to make this system faster?
Say that again.
What can we do to make this system less cumbersome and faster?
I would use what I call the 4 pillars of government interaction. That is the approach. G to C, government to citizen. G to G, government to government. G to B, government to business, and G to E. When you use this 4 pillars to build a robust plan in how you want to actually get to G to C, because G to C, government to citizen, is the most important. A country that is citizen-centric will always grow. Each of these pillars answer to G to C. So with such approach, you would have been able to build a robust plan to tackle this. There, you would have carried the citizens along. That's why for G2C now, what you're discussing now, this group will be discussing about the transformation of the lives of people and how to make it better. The G2G will be looking at other governments, other government agencies or ministries to have a seamless interaction, so that if I go here, I don't have to put in. If I put in this number, I'll get the history of my medical whatever. If I go to the hospital, if I'm at road safety doesn't have to chase anybody. From the plate number, they can tie it to me. If I was in Rwanda for lecture last year and I was late for a class, and I told the taxi man to speed up, I'm in a hurry. And he said to me, no, he can't go past 60. I said, why? He said, oh, if he goes past 60, it's $20. I said, what? $20. And the Nigerian in me started to calculate. Now, how does that even happen? ICT, Internet of Things, AI, the cameras tracked his plate number, and the moment he beats, it clocks him, and the moment he beats traffic or whatever, he gets a message on his phone immediately. G to B, government to business. Government will always need, experts from anywhere, development partners, people that, e-government experts, people that are already in this field to learn from, to help them build capacity.
You have to leave it there. I want to thank you, Malcolm Oseahon. Thank you for your contribution.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. So, Jide?
I think that is basically.
That's just make sure it is.
Where the security agencies need information about me, and they will be groping in the dark. We can't have a country like that. All of this, every Nigerian information about him should be at the fingertips.
I don't have to go to or sell local government in Ondo State
it
now.
Makes no sense.
Get this
I mean, we just
I must
suffer
be able
our
to
people
go
for
online,
nothing.
maybe a barcode or my fingerprint.
Yes.
To be able to get my fingerprint, and they'll be able to process
Sends a message
information,
to
and
them.
I print out something. I don't have to go physically.
People, you say people should. There's
NIN should
a
have
mistake
resolved that.
mistake on a passport, and then people must travel to Abuja.
Abuja. Or
Come on.
because you are
It
married
has to
now,
stop.
you are Mrs. So now,
Yes.
you have to go to Abuja to go and effect that change.
You spend money on accommodation. You risk your life.
In 2024.
I mean, these are things.
Not
And we are even trying to make it even more
It's not
difficult.
as difficult
Why?
as this. It's
Why?
not difficult.
NIN should have resolved all these problems because
Yes, sir.
they asked for local government, everything. So
It's
if
there.
Just and
It's
they,
in
they
the-
do collect NIN from passport office. They ask you for your NIN. So
When
once
you want to
go
register your phone,
yeah,
it's part of the information.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you know that
register your
The
SIM.
BVN we did
part of
is
this.
almost the same process.
yeah.
The BVN, the NIM,
Yes.
the driver's license you did,
same.
almost the same questions. It could be harmonized.
You know,
Yes. Oh, in
The,
fact, let me tell you, it's the
voter card.
BVN that hastened the NIM process.
I'm telling you.
It was the BVN because
The
they now
same
had to
information, your
now
biometric,
integrate
fingerprint.
the information that provided with by the BVN. They had to integrate it, and it hastened the process. You know, so I just think that this whole idea of telling people, oh, you want to make a correction on your passport, you must go to Abuja. It has to stop. We must outgrow this kind of antediluvian tendencies. Abba.
I want to thank you, Wale Adeoye. Thank you for your contribution. And BKO, welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
All right, and that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow, 5 p.m. BKO will be here, 5 p.m. for a regular episode of Journalist Hangout. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11:30 p.m. on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubaku. See you tomorrow.